Who, me? I'm in foreclosure, so definitely. I like that one.
Okay, so cool. Now we're recording. Thank you, Miguel. All right, couple things to consider. 30% of the homeowners in our country that have a mortgage are currently in forbearance. Now, bless you, Michael. Every one of them is at a different stage in the process. If I filed for forbearance back in March, then my 12-month grace period is coming up very soon. If I filed for forbearance in July, then I have a little more time. And the good news is the market that we're in currently is very different than the market in 2000. And Victoria, just remind me that I have to keep letting people in now that I'm the host, because I wasn't paying attention and now I am. One of the differences in today's market and the market in 2008 is most homeowners have equity. Very few don't, which means the homeowners that are in trouble with their mortgage have an option of putting their home on the market today and selling it and walking away from the table with money versus waiting until they get a notice of default and possibly being behind and possibly the market value lowering to a point where they owe more than their home is worth. Then the conversation becomes a short sale conversation. So Miguel, one of the calls that I would be making today, and I would get really, really good at this because this is one of your prospecting scripts of the future, is Miguel, good morning. My name is John Dietz. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking my call. Always lead with gratitude. I'm sure you're busy. I only need 60 seconds. You know, I'm reaching out to you today because I specialize in helping homeowners avoid foreclosure. And I'm just curious, who do you know that might be behind on their mortgage payments? Now, when the seller says, that's me, your response to that is, okay, we have options. Are you aware of what your options are? And you're going to probably hear no. Well, your first option is if you have equity in your home, we could put it on the market today and get it sold, and you can walk away from the table with money and without your credit being damaged. Now, if you hear, well, I actually owe more than my home is worth. Okay, well then your options there are you can either allow the bank to foreclose on your home, or you could do it a deed in lieu of foreclosure, or we could do a short sale. Are you familiar with how a short sale works? And you're probably going to hear no. And your response to that is, that's exactly why we should get together. Does tomorrow at 4 o'clock work, or would 5 be better for you?
Check to see if people are in the waiting room.
Oh, thank you. I don't see anybody. Okay. All right, guys, that was recorded and that will be on YouTube and Facebook. So if you didn't get it word for word, please go back and watch it later. And we're on the 24th. Did that help? Can I get a couple hands in the air, thumbs up? Something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Okay.
John.
Okay, good.
And from an investor perspective, I used to actually go to people with have behind on their payment and tell them what their options are, pretty much. So I think that's a great approach for what's coming.
John, what
and Alex made a, hold on one second, I'm sorry. And I apologize, Eddie. Alex made a great suggestion in the chat. He said, instead of saying behind in mortgage payments, suggest in need of help, because their HOA payments could be a part of this as well. And Alex is absolutely correct. And the HOA can foreclose on the house as well. And they'll do it much faster than the bank will.
I make a quick suggestion.
Yes.
Basically being that if you're going to look at foreclosures or pre-foreclosures, look at the fact that the people are going to be in need of money. So certain things are going to start going to the wayside, deferred maintenance. Your lawn service is going to be one. The grass is going to start growing, the paint, all that other stuff. And if you are in an HOA or a homeowner association, a lot of times that's the first thing that they start missing is the HOA payments. So it may not hurt to become friends with the HOA management in the neighborhood and find out who might be delinquent or who might be slowing down on their payments.
That's a great suggestion, Alex. And let me clarify something, because I just said something that's not 100% accurate. And Alex, you can check me on this because you are more of an expert at this than I am. The HOA is not going to foreclose on the property. The bank is the only one that can do that. However, the
No,
HOA.
you're right the first time.
I was.
The HOA can go ahead and foreclose on.
Then okay.
So, I mean, they'll foreclose first, and then the bank will come behind them and foreclose on the whole enchilada. But again, if you're missing out on something, somebody's going to try and get their money.
Okay. Good.
HOAs do not negotiate.
No. No, they don't. Thank you, Valerie. And I'm glad I was right. I like it when I'm right.
Hey, John, I'm also seeing a lot of increased enforcement. Just in my own neighborhood, there's a lot more, people stopping by, checking on infractions, things that they weren't checking on before. So when you're reaching out to people who are in the situation, you can tell them that the pressure's coming, and that might be a way to get them to take action.
Good job, Sean. And that goes back to what Alex was saying, because the HOAs are aware that people are going to stop taking care of their property when money gets tight. Okay. 24 topics of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Today we're on topic number 7, and I'm going to revise the presentation that I had for you just a little bit, because we had kind of an impromptu conversation there on prospecting, potential. Hold on one second. Monica's competing with me. Working from home. Okay. And that was super important. So I'm glad we did that. Okay, topic number 7, know your numbers. What are the key numbers that top producers focus on? It's just a question. And if I'm taking notes, the note that I would write down is, what are the numbers that I should be focusing on? There are 2 sets of numbers the Millionaire Real Estate Agent is always aware of: goal numbers and actual numbers. Goal numbers are your annual goals. Actual numbers are monitored on a weekly basis. This becomes your compass. Now, I'm going to go to page 109 from our playbook, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And I'm actually going to start at the bottom of page 107. All right, so Gary says you and everyone on your team need to know your key numbers at all times. And you guys know me as a coach, I really don't like that word need. So I'm just going to change that a little bit. Me, and it is my job and everyone on my team's job to know our key numbers at all times. Now, to top of page 109, Millionaire Real Estate Agents know their goal numbers and track them to make sure they know how they're doing at all times. They set big someday goals, 3-year, annual, monthly, and even weekly goals. And they set them using a consistent set of goal categories. These categories can be effectively narrowed down to the 8 most important areas of a real estate sales business. And you'll find this list on page 109. It includes leads generated. In other words, how many leads do I need to generate in order to achieve my annual goals? How many leads do I need to generate daily, weekly, and monthly in order to reach my annual goals? Listings, contracts written, contracts closed, money, people, systems, tools, and personal expenses. Now, hold on one second. What are the key metrics that you should focus on? Another question you should write down. By the way, there's more than 8. I would encourage you to make a list of every single one of them. In other words, it's my job as a top producing agent to know days on market. It's my job to know what the inventory is in every market that I work in, because the inventory is going to be different based on the type of property, the price, and the location. And it's my job to know what that is. As a professional, I know my numbers. Critically important. Now, what do I do with this information? Well, here's what I would do. I would create a 411, and let's just say that my goal is to net $100,000. So guys, I'm not going to share just because of time, but basically, there you go. And I'll walk you through it so you can create this on a piece of paper in front of you. If your goal is to net $100,000, your cost of sale, if you're with Keller Williams and you're in the Waxman group, and I realize we have people here from other parts of the country, so your cost of sale is going to be different. And we also have agents that are not with KW. Your cost of sale is any sale that is directly related to the sale of the property. In other words, it's the money you give your broker. If you have a transaction fee, it's a transaction fee. If there is a franchise fee, it's your franchise fee. And if you're paying somebody a referral, it's the referral. Those are all cost of sales. Expenses are everything else that you spend money on in order to run your real estate business. All right, so if my net goal is $100,000, my cost of sale is 23, let's say my expenses are 30,000, that's 30%, which is following the 30-30-40 model of the MREA. It could be less, it might be more. If it's more, then you're outside the model and you need to take a look at that and make an adjustment. Which means I need to gross, oops, I said need, which means I want to gross, which means I'm going to gross 153,000 in order to net $100,000. Now, if my average commission check is $8,000, it's gonna take 20 deals to gross 153 and net 100. That's 10 on the seller side and 10 on the buyer side. These are my numbers. So at the top of my 411, my annual goal is to net 100,000. It's to gross 150. It's to close 20 deals and take 14 seller listings. Now here's why it's 14 seller listings. On the seller side of the economic model, we know that, back and forth on my notes, sorry guys. We know that there's 10 closings set using all markets, seller market, buyer market, in between 75% of listings taken will go to the closing table. So if my goal is to close 10 seller listings, I'm going to take 13.3 seller listings in order to close 10. Now my conversion ratio should be 75% from a listing appointment to a listing taken, which means I'm going to go on 18.6 listing appointments in order to take 13.3 seller listings, or 1.5 seller listing appointments per month. Now, my monthly goal on my 411 is 2 closings. And I'm going to adjust this every month based on track. Track means based on my current level of production, this is what I'm tracking for the year. In other words, if you're 4 months into the year and you've taken 4 listings, you're tracking 12. And if the goal is 13.3, you need to make an adjustment because you're not on track. Now, month 1, I'm going to start with 2 closings, 2 new contracts, 1.25 listings taken, make it 2. You're front loading for a month where you might not hit your goals. And 1.5 listing appointments, make it 2. You're front loading for a month where you may not hit your goal. and 3 total appointments. That's between buyers and sellers. So my monthly goal is 3 appointments. These are listing appointments, seller listings and buyer consultations. 3 appointments in order to hit my listings taken, in order to hit the number of deals that I want to close. Now, weekly, I'm going to track activities in order to achieve my monthly goals. And the activities that I'm going to put on my tracker, the numbers that I'm tracking are 100 conversations, 5 face-to-face appointments, 25 handwritten personal notes, 1 open house, 1 new 3-step circle prospecting campaign executed, 25 smart plans added to command in order to create emotional proximity. Now, week 2, I'm going to look at how I did in week 1 because I know my numbers. And if I'm not tracking, I'm going to make adjustments. For example, if I had 80 conversations in week 1, my week 2 number is 120. I'm making an adjustment in order to stay on track. Now, the last thing I want you to do, and then I'm going to take you off mute, we're just going to have a conversation, is I want you to take a piece of paper, and on the left side of the piece of paper, I want you to write grow in large letters vertically down the left side of the sheet of paper. G is your goal. Know your numbers. R is reality, where you're at today, and what's track. O are the obstacles that are standing between you and your goal. And W is your way forward, or the plan in order to remove those obstacles, make adjustments, and get back on track. All right, take yourself off mute, guys, and talk to me.
Okay.
I'm sorry, John. Can you just quickly grow? Like I missed it. I'm writing so many notes. Hello?
I'm on mute. Sorry, I'm on mute. Grow.
Yes.
G is for goal. That's your goal. That's your annual goal, Diane. R is reality. That is your current level of production, where you are right now. O is the obstacles that are standing between you and your goal.
Okay.
And W is your way forward, or your plan to remove those obstacles in order to move closer to your goal.
Thank you.
And I would do a grow exercise on every single one of my goals every week. These are my goals for listings taken. This is my current reality today. My current reality today has me tracking 18 listings. My goal was 24, so I need to make an adjustment or I'm not going to achieve my goal. If I keep doing what I've been doing, I'm going to keep getting what I've been getting. So what are the obstacles? Now I need to remove, what is my plan to remove these obstacles in order to move forward, my way forward? All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want a reminder, John, about letting people in to see if anyone's there.
You know, I've been looking. We're getting better
Okay.
at that. Yes.
Okay.
We'll keep working on it. Thank you,
1 minute
Victoria.
to go.
Nope. Keep it. Okay, guys. It's 8:29. Quickly, give me a couple ahas. What did you hear? What are you going to do different?
I'm going to take the time and actually get it and actually reassess everything I'm doing because I hear it, I understand it, I just got to do it.
There you go, Carolyn. Sometimes we need to slow down in order to speed up. And we need to work on our business, not just in our business. I would block time every week. For me, it's Sunday to work on my business. Somebody else was talking with Carolyn.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, John, it's Michael.
Mhm.
It's A, to establish a plan, and B, the important thing is what you said, is track the plan.
Oh,
So you know when you're exceeding it or you have a shortfall to the plan. And from different businesses, if you're exceeding the plan, then you have to decide, is that the trend? So you should actually expand your plan? Or is that a one-time thing that you're going to have put the money in the banks, like, so to speak, for a rainy day? That it's just a one-time occurrence.
absolutely, Michael. Otherwise, it's like getting in your car and saying, I'm going to drive to Philadelphia and just going north and never paying attention to the road that you're on. As long as you're going north, I'll end up in Philadelphia. Well, you might end up in Canada. I don't know, but
yeah, exactly.
So, John, what I liked is also start with the end in mind. So you started with the net, right? And then you folded everything back in to then chunk it down.
thank you, Victoria. And that's what a great coach will do for you. So what I'm hearing is work with a coach, work with Victoria. She's a great coach. One more, it's 8:32. It's time to get to work. And you know, as soon as I say one more, Victoria, nobody's going to talk.
Well, I have one more aha, which is prospecting to people who are behind on their mortgages with these new scripts.
There you go, girl. Love it, Paige. All right. Thank you for the pleasure of your time. This is an amazing group. This is a group of support and growth, and I am grateful to be a part of this. It's time to get to work. Your job, your one thing, that first domino is lead generation. Until that's done, nothing else matters. Until that's done, everything else is a distraction. Lead generation is defined as 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17, 20. If you stop at 17 because it's good enough, the 18th conversation could have been $1 million listing that you didn't get, and you'll never know that you didn't get it. So 20 conversations focused on building relationships. Remember, care calls, not sale calls. We're building relationships. We're also focused on getting an appointment, getting a referral, or adding somebody to our database. Get face-to-face with one person every day who's thinking of buying a home or selling a home. Whether it's 30 days from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter because you're listing homes a year from now. Put all of those people into your pipeline, into your database, into command. If you're with Keller Williams, create smart plans to create emotional proximity, follow up forever. Reject rejection, and no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. And make it a great day, everybody.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, John.
Always. My pleasure.